get into it. We can get into it. Body fluids on the floor, get into it like a hood. We can get into it. We can get into it. Body fluids on the floor, get into it like a hood. What's the motion? Swing a right finger with a left, going straight. Take the heart out his chest. Nut buck in the club. Homegirls lose the heel saying, fuck my new curls and fuck them bum bitches. They talk like they hands on Mike Tyson. It's killed to be killed when I'm fighting. My sisters not watching, they jumping like double dutch. They like transition cause violence is given. Soft bitches is tripping.
Hey, Squish, okay, look what Ozone taught us.
Hey.
All right, Kelly's back.
All right. Hey, that's Fred. So you're teaching class?
Yeah, I'm teaching class now.
My man, brother.
Mama, 我來啦 Yo, bro. My man, master, he's split. Check this out.
Johnny, you'll be fine.
An artiste does not leave his work unfinished.
No, it looks fine to me.
In that case, I'm a dream that once was. Look out, Albert, because Hollywood is on your case.
Yeah, go get her. Oh. Good grief. What's the matter? Don't you like your new scarf?
Not especially. What a funny way to say hello.
What the hell's going on?
And that was some piece of skating today, Mitchell, man. You were all right. Man, I never laughed so hard in all my life, man.
I guess we just figured you all wrong. Shoot, man, I'm really sorry.
Hey, it's all right. It's over. Don't worry about it.
Yeah? All right, cool, man.
Hey, man, check it out, man. This is the story. Been challenged by the preps to a little skating race. We're gonna settle this thing once and for all. You know, and I wanted... We thought maybe you'd, want to come and skate on our team. Help us out.
Come on, Mitchell, catch up! Grab on! Grab on!
You! I want you to turn that music up. I said turn it up! Okay.
Rock your body.
Happy? Yeah. I like that. All right, class dismissed. Everyone out. Yeah. Let's go. Except you, Shay. You stay.
What you talking about? He started it. You stay. Look at you, man. I take attention over this shit.
Whoa. Wanna let your brother just keep slapping you around for not selling drugs?
Hey. Back off.
Hey, we got a little rebellion going on here, eh? You starting to talk that kind of shit to your brother too, eh? Galinia?
He ain't no brother of mine no more, and he sure don't own me.
That's why you Jamaicans are so weak. No loyalty for the family.
Who's that?
Curtis.
And what's he do?
That's it. You're looking at it. He just looks slick all day.
Viruses and stealing materials for their own ends. These people,
Richard Gill. Your hacker enemy #1, man.
Thank you, Mr.
You're a
Gill.
boner.
Yo, showtime! Showtime!
What's going on?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to our show, Hack the Planet.
Hack the planet!
And for those late night hacks, Dope Cola, the soft drink of the elite hacker.
Who are these guys? It's Razor Blade.
But I ain't cutting her loose tonight.
Why not?
Nah, it's because I'm going legit, homie. I'm trying to get on the Naira circuit. You heard about that?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So what? What's up with you, man?
I'm just waiting for Toretto.
Shit, better get in line. It's yours?
Yeah, I'm standing next to it.
That's funny. You know, Edwin happens to know a few things. And one of the things Edwin knows is, it's not how you stand by your car. It's how you race your car. You better learn that. Hey, Janelle. Yoga?
In my wheelchair, being trans, black, and disabled, feminine.
Whoa, hey!
Everything they're working on is terrible and is not very good.
It's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in that X-Men group, so I think it's outdated.
I wasn't super into superhero comics when I was a kid. I read a lot of like indie press stuff.
So what I love about being a part of this universe is the diversity and the inclusion.
When you do Black Panther, you have a black director, black producer, you have a black costume designer, you have a black stunt choreographer, you have a black, and I'm like, that's more racist.
I'm not transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man. I'm transgender, non-binary, and I don't want to be searched by a man. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights.
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told girls and boys can both identify with a male lead, but boys cannot identify with a female lead.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just makes me so happy every single time I see a movie come out that just blows through every single one of those beliefs and proves that it is just a lie to keep certain people out of the movies, to keep certain people in the same positions that they've always been in. And it's just amazing to watch it happen and watch you at the helm.
So I guess the only question is, dumb or narcissist? I'm going with both.
Not quite the woman I expected.
You're everything I'd expect of a man.
I'm not flying around saving people in this thing. I wouldn't even wear it to the beach. Where's my cape?
On my planet, females bow before males.
This is not your planet.
She's not strong enough.
Why? Because she's just a girl? I want to work for a cool, powerful, kick-ass woman instead of a bunch of angry old white men.
I'm sorry, I have difficulty making conversation with men under 6 feet tall.
We live in a brave new world of gay marriage and transgender Republicans. Nobody bats an eye at that stuff anymore.
So, I'm sorry if I kissed you when you weren't in control of yourself because I am all about consent.
We're getting like more diversity.
What?
Diversity.
What?
Diversity.
What?
Diversity.
Okay!
Much more diversity, being inclusive, representation, black elf, female dwarf. Wow. Never saw people in my color. So amazing.
Women in it, women, more female representation. I wasn't represented, my disability, my queer.
Like, and it's like, and it's like.
Like.
We're
like, oh.
And I was
like,
we're like, he's like, yo, I'm gonna teach I'm gonna make a ring right now.
Yo, this tune is banging. It's Radio Lord of the Rings. Let's go. It's about to get lit like Mordor.
Shut up! Shut up!
In addition,
Rings of Power
also set a record for causing the most spectators to make this face. Ladies, you have your mission now. Get
Castaway, grasping for a handhold in a tempest.
There's a tempest in me. It swept me to this island for a reason. And it will not be quelled by you, Regent.
This is the worst.
Yo, welcome to Dudes Brewing.
It's your boy Bender.
It's your boy Kels.
In the place to be.
You know what it is, guys. You know what time it is. So we're here to talk to you about some new things going on in Hollywood. There's a few TV shows that have come out over the last, maybe I would say, year or two. Some from Disney, some from Netflix. And we've just been kind of curious on what's this whole premise behind a lot of TV shows almost being disingenuously homogenous.
Chief, various brother agents, I owe all of you a huge apology. I just watched this show, Roots, maybe you've heard of it. It taught me such a profound lesson about bigotry. I have sat on the sidelines of race relations long enough. I want to march down that field of oppression and kick that ball of bigotry right over the goalpost of intolerance.
Where every show has to have like a token African character, token gay character, Asian character. And that was sort of like something I would say back in the day people used to complain about, is that there was a lot of tokenism still going on, and they were like, oh, there's a token like,
oh, there's like one token character,
token like, you know, Asian character,
like back in the 90s, and like
being stereotypical.
What are you doing here? What do you mean? Well, I'm supposed to be the only black guy at this party. Oh, shit. Yeah, I know. It's whack. Hey, man, my bad, man. No doubt. Why don't you take this, man? Thanks. Right. Do you think? Hey. Yeah. Peace out, brother. Hey, honest mistake. I just swear about that, right?
I'm only in the song because I'm a black guy. Look at that.
Do you know where Austin went? All I know is that he rented a room at the Sunrise Motel. Room number 6. It's the one right past the ice dispenser. If you hit the Pepsi machine, you went too far. Oh, and the door will definitely not be locked. That's all I know.
But now it's been tokenized in a different way, where there's always like one queer person that's there. There's one of everyone. There's one strong, independent person.
It's like the Power Rangers.
Yeah, and it's like all the shows are essentially the same now.
Counting down the top 10 most woke Hollywood movies and TV shows of 2022. At number 10, it's Bros. At number 9, Lightyear. At number 8, Blood Origin. At number 7, Strange World. At number 6, Obi-Wan Kenobi. At number 5, The Woman King. At number 4, Wakanda Forever. At number 3, She-Hulk. At number 2, Thor Love and Thunder. And the most wokest of 2022, Rings of Power. Congratulations. And that's all I've got.
Just left seeing Wakanda Forever, and I'm pissed. I am pissed because if Pushing an Agenda was a movie, this would be in the forefront of that. This was Woman King on steroids. If you think that I'm gonna believe 100-pound black woman soaking wet is just an almighty warrior and can just body dudes like it's no tomorrow, come on. Instead of Wakanda, it should have been called Where Are the Men? Because they was not there, they were not present, and the ones that was there was weak. But all the women that was in the movie was just brolic, built, strong Hercules. What is this saying to us? Perpetuating the idea of the strong black woman and a subservient black effeminate man. And this movie does not represent what African culture is. It doesn't represent what our culture needs to be. So, nah, I'm good on Wakanda. Where all the men.
It's not even enjoyable. It's sort of like when you turn on a Netflix show, you sort of already know what you're going to get. Yeah. You know you're going to get 2 dads at some point or 2 moms. And it's just, they're trying to make the world reflective of, I think, the world of LA, I guess, because it's...
I don't know what world has
yeah,
that many.
I think it's reflective to Los Angeles.
Because I'm from Sydney and I never seen that many, where they say diverse, people in one
area.
It's really crazy.
It's unreasonable.
Race swapping can be seen as disrespectful to the culture and experiences of the character being portrayed. It is not okay when white people did it to colored people, and it is not okay when colored people do it to white people. It just ruins the character. Race swapping can also perpetuate stereotypes and harmful narratives. For example, if a white character is race swapped to be portrayed as a person of color, and the character is then portrayed as a stereotype, it can reinforce harmful stereotypes that further marginalize people of color. Race swapping can also undermine the importance of real representation and inclusivity. If a character is race swapped simply to check a box or meet a quota, it can come across as insincere and tokenizing.
Follow the queen, live your dream, but don't sleep. Don't sleep, because she might disappear. Saw that? Slick. But you can't swerve. You gonna roll up to that wedding. You gonna be like, bok, bok, bitch.
You know, I'm open to the conversation. I think it, you know, it really is something that, I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah.
Bitch, are you for real?
아프리카 비트는 어떤 비트입니까?
좀. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Like, he's so hot. It's 좀. No, you ain't talking to me. 남자분들은 흑인 약간 남성 갱스터 쪽 이런 분들은 좀 What up? What? You wanna go, man? You wanna go? Girl, what did you say, girl? No, you ain't doing that. Welcome to Wendy Young Street. Hey.
There's 3 reasons why I wouldn't be a good waifu. Number 1, I'm shy. Number 2, I use a lot of hand gestures.
And one of the shows we wanted to talk about was Velma.
Yeah, the Velma, the Scooby-Doo spinoff.
The latest one, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Scooby-Doo. You know Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
It's got they're an all-white cast, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
They all are.
Caucasian.
They're Caucasian. They all are.
Scooby snacks.
And except for the dog, they've got a dog.
Yeah.
But besides that, you've got Shaggy, you've got Velma. And if any of you don't know who that is, Velma is the one with the glasses.
Yeah.
She's smart, nerdy. She's very introverted, shy, but she's very. You learn to love her because you kind of like.
She's so endearing.
Her sexual orientation was ultimately left ambiguous.
What?
Would have a female. Love interest, criminal undercover costume designer Coco Diablo.
And as promised, here are your Scooby snacks. Jinkies.
It was such a momentous occasion that even Google celebrated the historical moment.
She was smart, endearing, and just charming in a very delicate way.
Yeah.
In a very delicate way.
She was, that's what I would say. Yeah, she was delicate about it.
Yeah, no flower, you know?
Yeah. And and
it's a hot flower.
Yeah.
You know,
she got hot in one of those.
She was attractive because she was so, like...
innocent as well.
Innocent and easygoing and whatnot.
And each of those characters had something beautiful to bring. Shaggy being dumb, I wouldn't say dumb, but like just silly and lazy and like just in his own vibe. And then you had was it Freddie or
Fred,
Fred was
yeah.
like he was kind of the leader
Yeah.
the leader of the group, and then the hot one or the attractive one was was it Selma?
I can't remember her name. It's skipping my mind.
Mine too, but it'll maybe we'll pop it up.
We'll pop it up here.
But she also brought a different energy, and there's new Velma, who is, I think, I could be incorrect here. Voices. I don't know if she wrote the script, but from what I learned, she was a big presence on this new TV show.
Mindy Kaling?
Yeah, Mindy.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think she executive produced.
Oh, okay, yes, that's it.
This show. This is sort of like her wish to try to bring this to life.
The Office and the Mindy Project star, who also acts as an executive producer, voices the first South Asian incarnation of the typically Caucasian character.
But why? Which was kind of interesting because people like Velma on Scooby-Doo. Yeah. But they never try to... Velma's sort of like, she's part of the entourage. Now, a lot of people wouldn't have thought to do like a spin-off.
Just about her. That's what I found weird. I was like, out of all the characters to make a main character...
We get she was...
Velma.
Yeah, we get she was a little tanned or whatever. I don't even think she was even considered brown on the show.
What do you mean? She was never brown.
Yeah,
that's the part I found weird. They were all white. I used to watch that show like crazy.
Yeah.
They were just a bunch of friends, white friends that came together and they solved mysteries.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Caucasian.
And that's fine. Caucasian. They were from the mountains of Caucasus. Okay, they were white friends.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a person of color in their group, which was okay with me as a kid. I didn't sit there and go, I can't be the best person I can be because the Scooby Gang don't have someone of color.
Yeah.
No, because you had the Brown. Is it the Brown family? You had I had other TV shows I used to watch, and I had lots of people of color, and I enjoyed that. Now, taking Velma and making her. One of the things I read, they said that Mindy, whatever her name is,
Kaling, just
took herself and just put herself.
Yeah, she just inserted herself into
a character.
Into a character and sort of kind of played the same character Mindy Kaling is known for when she was on.
Mindy Kaling became famous around the world for The Office, but now she's trashing the show. The Office went for 201 episodes, with Mindy Kaling being in 174 of those episodes. And Mindy Kaling made tens of millions of dollars off the show, where she was paid $60,000 an episode in the earlier seasons and $140,000 per episode in the later seasons. Now Mindy Kaling is saying the show is too inappropriate and would never be able to get made today. She called out her own character, saying the lines she were given were too inappropriate, saying that her character as well as half the cast wouldn't be made today. And when asked about this further, she said she wouldn't let her children watch The Office when they become older. Which is a pretty bad thing for her to say from a financial standpoint, seeing how The Office cast, crew, and producers have made $500 million so far off of royalties. Many people are calling out Mindy Kaling because when she was asked, she couldn't name a single line from the show that was too inappropriate. And many people are saying this is an example of celebrities trying to cancel things they were previously in just to look progressive when nobody minds. Mindy Kaling did this with the trailer for her Velma series, where the entire trailer was focused on making fun of people who don't like the change of making Velma Indiana. I'm sure The Office has a joke or two they regret, but I think Mindy Kaling is living in Twitter reality, and with that, I'm Charles Perrault. I hope you learned something.
What show was that?
The Office.
The Office?
The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the US version.
Yeah, and then she had a spin-off show called The Mindy Kaling Show, which I think only lasted like one or two seasons. Kind of got bad ratings for...
I didn't even know it existed.
For comedy, but, that's subjective, to whoever might have liked it.
My sister's getting married soon. It's a love match. What's that mean? It's not arranged. So if you can choose, does that mean you can marry a white boy? White, no. Black, definitely not. A Muslim.
Hey, how you doing? I had some great duck last night.
Do I know you?
You see that girl?
Yeah.
That's Kat Stratford. I want you to go out with her.
Yeah, sure, Sparky.
Look, I can't take out her sister until Kat starts dating. You see, their dad's whacked out. He's got this rule where the girls are...
That's a touching story. It really is. Not my problem.
Would you be willing to make it your problem if I provide generous compensation?
You're gonna pay me to take out some chick.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
$20. Fine, 30.
Well, let's think about this. We go to the movies, that's, $15. We get popcorn, that's, 53. And, she'll want Raisinets, right? So, we're looking at $75.
This isn't a negotiation. Take it or leave it, Trailer Park.
$50 and we got a deal, Fabio.
Great practice, everybody. Good hustle, Stratford.
Thanks, Mr. Chapin.
Hey there, girlie. How you doing?
Sweating like a pig, actually, and yourself?
Now, there's a way to get a guy's attention, huh?
He's so romantic. Romantic? Hemingway? He was an abusive alcoholic misogynist who squandered half his life hanging around Picasso trying to nail his leftovers.
As opposed to a bitter, self-righteous hag who has no friends. Pipe down, Chachi.
I guess in this society, being male and an asshole makes you worthy of our time. What about Sylvia Plath, or Charlotte Bronte, or Simone de Beauvoir?
What did I miss?
The oppressive patriarchy.
But nevertheless, yeah. So HBO, I know HBO Max, Netflix, a lot of these shows are actually looking for more animated programs.
Oh.
They've been constantly looking for animated programs, but they're doing this in a very modern. And when you hear the word modern or liberal or progressive, it means socially engineered.
Biological sex is fake. Yes, we all know that gender roles are fake, but do not say to a trans person, biologically male, born female, male-bodied. No, 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 no. There is no biological criteria for gender that is both universal and a binary in human beings. Where does that leave us? Free.
They've been looking for more socially engineered television programming, which means it's disingenuous. They're making the world all homogenous and trying to make it look like everybody might be openly queer and we're all open to the same things. And
this is a spoiler. If you don't want to hear the spoiler from Bros, please, the story ends up where happy ending, the mother brings the second graders to go to the LGBTQ plus.
That's right. I remember somebody's told me this. Maybe you told me this. Somebody already told me the ending of this movie.
Yeah. So that's it effectively ends with that. And it's just like, I don't know if this is a conversation that we need to be having in our entertainment written by and starring people who don't have fucking children.
That's a problem.
I was offended and pissed off when I saw that. I'm so tired of people in Hollywood seeming to have an opinion about children that don't have fucking kids. Now I'm talking.
Well, and the ones that do, they buy them. Let's be real.
Yeah, but or sniff them, or both.
No, those are really disrespectful
That's politicians.
ways of talking about mail order children.
I'm just like, well, there's a Wayfair theory that I find someone should make that movie. It would be weird. They could be a comedy put out by the Asylum. In any case, I get offended about this stuff. And look, I've spent enough time in Hollywood. And it's just like I can tell, like, oh, you don't have kids. You don't know what it's like to have children. What normally happens is a lot of men who end up being single into older age and or women, they end up adopting kids and or having kids very late in life. I had kids very early in life. So I feel I'm an authority to be able to have some sort of opinion about how my kids are raised and what things I'll expose them to. And when I feel they're ready to be exposed to those things. And when I saw this as a threat in the movie, I'm like, yeah, you fucking lost me. You lost me. Okay.
Because Velma, the original character, like he said, all these beautiful traits that she has.
Yeah.
And this new thing, she's she's very sexual. She's very
they sexualized her,
and she hates on white people, and I'm like,
why? It's all these very typical modern day tropes.
Don't worry, darling. Nope. Rings of Power, Bros, Woman King, She-Hulk, Turning Red from Disney, The Little Mermaid, Baymax. It's like they are nearly incapable of making a film without putting this into it. And when people recognize it and they call it out, they bully the consumers into submission on this. We heard Viola Davis say in reference to Woman King.
If you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally, that you are supporting that narrative.
What do you think about this new form of marketing, which is essentially just this bulldogging and bullying of the American market into watching movies?
Well, I think it's a good way to end your industry. One of the monikers you hear, well, we want to make a product that reflects the world we actually live in. But what the truth of that is, it's the Los Angeles we actually live in, not the rest of the world.
Which somebody might look at us and be like, because we're both of brown descent, being African and whatnot, they might look at us as being like, hey, like, you guys must be, it's great, it's your time to shine. And we're like, nah, it's like, that doesn't gel with us of you just making jokes on a certain ethnic group or on Caucasian men or European men because of some like manufactured hatred that they're trying to put on TV. This is programming. Tell a vision. You're programming people, and then who's your audience? It's a cartoon.
That's what someone said. That a perfect example. Who is your audience that you're trying to reach out to? You're making fun. Well, in her cartoon, she roasts Caucasian white people. Yeah. Then she talks about being hypersexual. So she's lost maybe, I'd say, a lot of the Indian community, especially being hypersexual, because they're like, well, that's not us to a nutshell. That is you as a character.
Yeah, that's you. You
put yourself into it.
Around with a bunch of dudes,
but not them.
Yeah.
And then to be like,
it's insulting because you've westernized your people. You've tried to. Yeah, you try to include brown people, but you're not really representing brown people that are brown people of India. And the beautiful culture and traditions that they have. You're disrespecting their Eastern values, and you westernize it into this, I'm this independent single lady.
I watched Velma, so you don't have to, and oh, do I regret it. The forced diversity on the show is on 10. Velma is Indian and is nothing like the original Velma character that we all know and love. This is basically Mindy Kaling. The show should have been called Mindy. Daphne's Asian for some reason and is also nothing like the original and very unlikable. This is Shaggy's character. Do I need to say more? But wait, they kept Fred white, but only to make him the punching bag of the show. Nearly every line about Fred is about how stupid white men are. And this character hasn't been revealed yet, but apparently this is Scooby. Scooby-Doo, we don't. I would take that back. Bad joke. It's almost as if Mindy Kaling took the source material for this show and burned it before writing her own version. It is unrecognizable when compared to the original Scooby-Doo series. Mindy Kaling spends as much time as she can telling you how much she hates the world and white people and men. It is drowning in woke ideology. Like, this really might be peak woke, and this is a remake of Scooby-Doo! Can't wait to see what other pieces of our childhood get messed up like this.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
And also, what me and Bender were talking about as well earlier is that with her character, like another thing that they've also did is because she's smart, they've written of the last few years, they're writing smart characters for females, but they're all making them sarcastic a-holes.
Yes, that's the other.
That's another modern day trope that if a lady is smart, now she also has to be a jerk and sarcastic and put these men in their place. And that's not what made people like Velma. So you're disrespecting like the lore and ideology of characters that were nostalgic to people. And it's also so cheap. It's so cheap to show that you guys are running Hollywood and even the entertainment industry as a whole are running out of ideas. Right now, this is sort of tied to Velma in the film industry, but also in music. Music at this point, you hear a song on the radio by, say, Doja Cat, Weirdo, for example. This is looking like a witch now. now you're hearing a copy of a copy of a copy for a song that's out now.
What do you mean?
So you'll hear a song that's been sampled. It's a sample of a sample of a sample. You're hearing songs that are sampling songs that were like 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like we're hearing like a T-Pain track that was sampled out of another song that was out of another song. So if you keep printing something, say like you're printing a document, the more you keep printing it, the more the color fades and the ink gets smudged.
Yeah.
And so you've lost the quality of the original content.
Yeah.
And it's showing you guys don't have a lot of ideas. Goes back to the Balenciaga video we did.
That's very true.
It's creatively bankrupt at the end of the day. So it's insulting to kind of take an IP that people are familiar with and try to use nostalgia cheaply to get people to watch the show.
It, yeah.
And then you're not even respecting people who actually watch the show. And then you're not even like historically incorporating people's own culture in a respectful manner. Instead, you're manufacturing social discourse and dis-ease between genders and races with people. And that doesn't help society as a whole.
Anyway, in case you missed the not-so-subtle hints that the show hammers you over the head with in literally the first 5 minutes, strong female character and ginger plank of wood are super gay for each other, because this show has to reflect the world we live in today. The message.
So you basically have 3 teenage women, 1 ineffectual male, 1 old white male dude, and 1 wild hairy ethnic guy just for representation on this quest. At this point, I'm just like, why the fuck am I wasting my time on this shit?
So what's your end goal?
I think for me, I think she, with all due respect, I think Mindy's just trying to cash checks. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, most of these people,
because she doesn't. If she cared, she wouldn't take something amazing like Scooby-Doo. There are a lot of fans out there. You can make your own stuff if you're that talented. And you're that
make an original IP.
Okay,
I mean, she's had her own show once, so
maybe
it's not her niche.
But that's the thing. Okay, if your shows are trash,
maybe her making her own projects is not her niche, and maybe she might want to take this as it.
There are Indian nerds.
Is Mindy Kaling setting the South Asian community backwards? Everyone's been talking about Mindy Kaling's latest project, Velma, but the remade character Velma has gotten a lot of heat because it leans into a bunch of harmful stereotypes about Indian women. These types of tropes are no surprise because they are pretty much exactly what Mindy has done in the past. I'm Tej, and I happen to be a South Asian and a filmmaker. Mindy is someone I actually look up to. She's the biggest South Asian creator when it comes to these big budget productions in mainstream Hollywood. I also think Mindy's story is commendable. She worked for this. She started as a production assistant and she eventually made her way to her big break, starting on The Office as the only woman on a staff of 14 at the time. And I think given the power and the seat Mindy has in Hollywood, South Asians look at Mindy like this beacon of hope. But maybe we're putting our expectations in the wrong place. So if you're someone that feels when you watch something about our people and you feel like it's wrong and it's not your reality, maybe that's your sign to start telling your own stories.
I was gonna be like, you can, and if that's the case and shows are trash, go and you take your platform and where you are in Hollywood and you're in a place where you can help the other young writers who are maybe Indian or other minorities. If you love helping them so much, bring them up. Tell them, can you write this? Can you direct this? Because I have no ideas.
I think it's even deeper than that, though. I think it's deeper than her hiring brown writers or or her own ethnic group involved into the programming. These people are sort of beholden to whoever is paying them.
Oh, yeah.
If HBO is paying them and saying, no, we don't want this sort of like cultural messaging you want to put in. We want the messaging we want put in because this is going out to the masses and we want to lead the world in a certain direction. That's essentially, that's the thing that I think a lot of artists don't understand when they get into the industry. Artists think it's about the art. And, we think a lot of times it's about talent, and it actually isn't.
I remember I had to argue with my daughter when I first came out of politics. Harry Styles was wearing a dress. Oh, yeah. And my daughter's a huge fan. And we got into an argument. She started crying. And I was just trying to figure out what, because at the time my daughter was like 13. I'm like, why are you crying? I'm just spitting facts here. These are not opinions. And she started telling me about, guys getting pregnant. And I was like, she just didn't know, because I had never sat down with her, and she was on social media. So
what did you say? Like,
I said, something about the dress and being a guy wearing a dress.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's, anybody could wear a dress. I was like, but I told her the reason why he's wearing the dress. She said, but he's cute. I think it looks great on him. I said, no, it's not. It doesn't look great on him. You're 13. You're highly impressionable. Yeah. So it's like, like people with Kanye when he came on here. People stood up for Kanye, what he did when he came here, when he was totally in the wrong. It's because they love his music. They're biased. They're not thinking. Yeah. She was a huge Harry Styles fan, and she wasn't listening, and whatever I said, it hurt her feelings. And now she's 20 and she's we was the same way growing up, looking at Madonna, listening to her music. I never understood what parents is like, don't watch her, she's Satan,
Warning, this video contains graphic content. Viewer discretion advised.
I have no idea why it has taken this long for Madonna and all of her charities to be investigated for this. This isn't even the first time Madonna has been accused, or there has been calls for her to be investigated for child trafficking. The second child she adopted wasn't even an orphan.
Madonna herself did not meet the adoption requirements that you need to adopt a child out of Malawi. Madonna bullied Malawian officials and demanded VIP treatment to get her kids.
Madonna is under investigation for good reason. She's being accused of human trafficking her own children. These kids were adopted from Africa in a malicious way. Madonna used her wealth to convince these families to give up their children. She promised she would return them, but she never did.
As I got older, it makes more sense now. Yeah. These people are put in positions of power. There's highly impressionable kids, and they're there to manipulate them and have them think and act. And I think nowadays vote a certain way. Society.
I thought that it was just so improbable that people were trying to sexualize society on purpose. That was real. Then I started hearing about that. I just learned about this Kinsey guy. I learned about it a little while ago. This sex doctor from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, whatever it was.
I met up with Dr. Judith Reisman, a world historian in the destruction of human sexuality. Dr. Reisman is recognized as an expert witness exposing the sex industry's hidden agenda.
Playboy sued you, or you sued Playboy?
No, Playboy sued me for libel and slander.
And what happened?
I won.
She's fought the pornography industry for decades and even won a lawsuit against Playboy.
So how did we get here to where we're at today? Because I don't think pornography has always been such an epidemic cancer within our society like it is today.
Now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet, that's some wet. And I get a bucket and a mop, that's some wet, that's some wet. I get drop, that's some wet, that's some wet. And I get a bucket and a mop, that's some wet, that's some wet. I'm talking wop, 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 that's some wet, that's some wet. Now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet, that's some wet. And I get a bucket and a mop, that's some wet, that's some wet. I'm not from the top.
No, not at all. We were, up to the end of the Second World War, a conservative Judeo-Christian nation. The turning point for all that was Dr. Alfred Kinsey, his book, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, 1948. He was the father of the sexual revolution, and therefore the father of everything that has come from that. And certainly one of the key things was pornography.
Dr. Alfred Kinsey ushered the destruction of our nation's moral code with his books, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male and Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. Known as the Kinsey Reports. The world recognized him as the leading scientific expert on human sexuality. The reports claim that humans were sexual from birth and that what we deemed as immoral sexual behavior was actually normal, thus making it moral. Once a biologist who studied gall wasp, Kinsey's obsession with sexuality led him to found the Kinsey Institute for Sex Research at Indiana State University. What people to this day are not aware of were the methods he used to collect his data.
And I looked at the graphs that he provided, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 tables. And I said, wait a minute, that's a 2-month-old baby. How does he know a 2-month-old baby did or did not have an orgasm? And then table 34, a 4-year-old child, 26 orgasms in 24 hours. That's an around-the-clock experiment.
Wow, that's torture.
That's torture, you bet. He also actually employed bona fide pedophiles to do what they did to children for his so-called data.
Kinsey wanted to prove that we are sexual from birth, so it wasn't surprising that he drew his data from pedophiles, rapists, and murderers. They were the perfect sample because obviously a rapist pedophile will have a skewed perspective on sexuality. The research in Kinsey's books were partly based on the collection of data and confessions of a Nazi pedophile during World War II, Dr. Fritz von Balusek, who raped hundreds of children. After the war, the Nazi officer was charged and put on trial for the murder of a 10-year-old girl. They found detailed records of von Balusek's heinous sexual acts with children, revealing his correspondence with Kinsey. Dr. Kinsey, who was fully aware of the Nazi officer's atrocities, warned him in his letters to be careful and encouraged him to continue his research. During the trial, the judge said, "I got the impression that you got to the children in order to impress Kinsey and to deliver him material." To his surprise, Balusek replied, "Kinsey himself asked me for that."
Now that became the foundation for the sex educational structure that fed itself into what we are teaching our children right now as we sit here and speak.
I venture to suggest that what we are putting into our books on sex education today is based almost fully upon philosophic guess.
And of course, it was the foundation of all the changes in our laws, the sodomy laws, the abortion laws, everything else. I mean, he's there. His handprints are on everything that deals with sexuality. America was educated by a pedophile whose work was labeled as science. Just as Darwin was the father of legitimizing evolution, Kinsey was the father of legitimizing the sexual revolution and all that's based upon that today.
Sure enough, Hefner was true to his word. Not only did he popularize pornography on a global scale, he also helped to legalize it.
I want a congressional investigation of Kinsey. At some point, we may, in fact, be able to get a public to be aware that they've been raped. The whole nation has been raped. That is what's happened to us. We have been raped, and you cannot expect to survive a rape without a great deal of illness, pain, and trauma. And we've gone through it. Now we've got to find a way to get out of it.
So, whatever happened to Kinsey? Well, this glorified psychopath eventually died of a slow and painful disease called orchitis, a lethal infection of the testicles due to years of brutal masochistic masturbation and other vile sexual acts. How ironic. The preacher of sexual liberation died from following his own message. Sadly, his destructive work continues to live on with his lies, and to this day, we continue to fund the Kinsey Institute with our tax dollars. Now, for any man who's trapped in pornography, he must first realize that the root of the problem is based on a lie by Kinsey and a lie from the enemy of his soul. You need to realize you've been duped. You've been suckered because ultimately, Kinsey's purpose was to remake man into his image, which really wasn't a pretty one.
And Hugh Hefner was his student.
Yeah.
And they were overtly attempting to sexualize college kids. Like they would go to college campuses and be like, we are going to sexualize society. So I guess we're still seeing this.
Yeah, the grooming stuff's real, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
So about the celebrity stuff, I remember I was working for one nonprofit,
and they were like, I'm a big fan of Death Cab for Cutie. And they said, who wants to go see a Death Cab concert? And I was like, are you kidding? And like, it was really popular with college kids at the time. And so they said, anybody who volunteers to do voter registration at the event gets an all access pass. And I was like, I'm done. You tell me where and when. They give me an all access pass. They give me a stack of voter registration forms and said, go out and just ask people. I got to hang out backstage and meet the band. So right there, they're very, very clever in how they do this stuff. Now, I'm not saying anything about the band. The band wasn't doing anything.
Right.
But this organization knew to go after young people in these spaces to exploit the celebrity because they knew I would do it for them. And I was like, I don't know, I was like 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like that's why Biden talked to Cardi B. That's why they talked to The Rock. I mean,
Johnson,
it's just
influence.
Because 40% of this country is not in the politics, but they'll go do what Cardi B says or The Rock says. That's why they do it.
The Rock looks broke. He looks like he'll back any candidate for any amount of money. He has no
he did
shame.
A tweet.
No shame at all.
He did a tweet, and I think it was exact on the date, 365 day where he was endorsing them. And I responded to him. I said, today, I want you to remember the day you recommended the worst president and worst vice president in our history. I think it was on Instagram. Yeah. That dude, you can't tell me he wasn't paid money to do that.
Yeah. He supported Gavin Newsom when Gavin Newsom had this whole scandal with the restaurant. He supported any politician that will just probably give him a little bit of money because
that's just sleazy,
as we
right?
know, that's what a lot of these celebrities do. They're like, oh, you want me to support you? How much are you willing to give me?
Yeah,
that's how it works. Exactly.
Yeah, that is absolute sellout.
Selling out this country, most importantly. Just like John Cena with his Mandarin
apologizing.
Yeah.
你好，中国，这是赵西娜。我做很多采访，很多。所以在一个采访，我有一个错误。
Got him!
You have to essentially. This is the term people use when they say sell your soul. You essentially have to be a vessel for whatever marketing and programming is going out into the world. Whatever narrative is going out, you need to follow that narrative. And if you don't follow that narrative, your creative opportunities may be somewhat stunted or limited, to the point where you have to do your own thing. So you got to operate outside of that echo chamber.
But that's what I was saying. Like, if she was willing to obviously tell the people at HBO, like, I'm gonna do it this way. If not, fuck it, I'll find a different way to do it. Because she was already well known.
Which
that's
is
the
great.
Thing, you know?
That's like Ice Cube. You know, he turned down a movie role back a year ago because he wouldn't get the jab. He turned down $11 million because he was just like, no, I'm not getting the jab. Sorry. He's like, I don't need the movie role that much. But not many people are willing to stand on principle and their own integrity.
And also, again, not many people have that kind of privilege in the sense of Ice Cube's rich as hell. He probably doesn't need to ever do movies ever.
Yeah.
Back to Mindy, in her
even at that,
she's on a level where she doesn't need to be shooting shit for HBO.
Yeah, she's
made a name for herself.
She's already made a name for herself.
So she could have written something away from HBO and just brought it out. And if it did well, it did well. But at the end of the day, like I said, I just think.
You know why I think she might have followed through with the whole thing with Velma?
It's because it's crazy.
Well, ladies in general, we've talked about this a few times on our show. Ladies care for social matters a lot. Ladies care for social inclusion. You look at their profiles and say she, her up there, even though we can tell it's a female. They'll just put these little pronouns in there, which the pronouns aren't even relevant to them if they're not sure about their own identity. You know, it's just something to feel included. It's the newest thing, the newest cause, whether that's a Ukrainian flag in their bio or BLM in their bio. It's always the next new current thing.
So you feel like she wanted to be a part of a new thing.
It's easy. Well, in general, it's easy to get women on board with social causes.
Human trafficking survivor and an advocate who works directly with survivors. Everybody give it up for Eliza Blue.
It was exactly what you think it would be.
And what sort of organizations are available to help people?
I'm one of those survivors that prefers given the opportunity to be free.
I don't understand. So there's
Someone creates a fake profile of you.
And that's how they would traffic me, sell me without my full consent.
So this is a kind of identity theft kind of situation.
Too inconsistent and too all over the place.
It's around the same time she said she was being sex trafficked. Doesn't really look like sex trafficking to me. You're twerking, you're humping the floor, you're showing your tits. It looks like the internet is completely turning 100% against her.
What's been your strangest booking request so far?
$150,000 to have sex. $150,000, that's a lot of money.
She's never mentioned any of this. Therefore, she's either lying about the past or she's lying about now. Either way, one way or another, this is an expose.
An individual who has a large social media following, as well as the ear of Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
It's Britney, bitch.
Hello everyone. I have been locked out of my account on Twitter.
Brittany Venti, who is also a human trafficking advocate. Hey, Eliza Blue, the sensitive topic, you don't have to go into detail about being trafficked, but I'm hoping you could clarify a thread.
This was the reasoning. Privately produced / distributed intimate media.
Is that Sheila?
Oh, hell no, he didn't. I'm kind to hell no.
Before she fought
This is my nigga.
like the MTV show.
I don't like to go into too much detail.
You're seeing somebody supremely comfortable basically wearing a bustier, and then you got somebody that's like, I don't know what the heck what she was wearing. And it's like you're dealing with two different people.
More sinister details have come out around not only my current Twitter ban, as well as fellow content creator Brittany Venti, and who have posted a publicly available photo. This whole allowing the system to be gained for people close to him, it seems very suspicious.
Yeah, I'm really an open book.
50% of all super chats will go to Eliza Blue tonight to help human trafficking victims and to raise awareness.
Trafficking victim, that's going to help with me. And I'm a human trafficking survivor, but let me tell you what it can help by. Number one, I don't have internet.
Anybody that feels a need to contact me personally can text message me through a service called Chatstar.
Wait, Chatstar is a cam site? Hold up, wait, what?
I won't ask those people to change their opinion for our sake. I would just ask them to consider one thing. What if you're wrong? Is it possible?
But what if I'm right, though?
When it comes to me, when I'm done, I'm done. And when I want to keep going, I'll keep going. You learn the hard way. So, actually, it got me like 500 new followers, so I'm cool off that.
You remember that? Me and Benda had a talk with a young lady the other night, but we won't go into we won't go into a long spiel. But my God, that was quite a conversation. But she was all about racism and feeling like a victim
of everything.
As a brown person, she felt like a uber victim, and we were just kind of highlighting to her the reality of we all can play victim at the end of the day, but we have to be accountable for our lives as a whole, and we can't be out here caught up in just in every social matter that is outside of I want to say outside of our control, but we just can't be permanent victims of circumstances.
I would say that, yeah.
We need to understand there's a historical reason how things led to this point, not just complaining in a circle about it, but actually trying to get to the root cause of how things ended up being that way. So yeah, but it's easy to manipulate women to care about social causes. They care for inclusion, and corporations have done this notoriously. This is why there's Cosmopolitan magazine. There's all these books.
We see it in for us when we had a video. We were talking about more about Hollywood with the Hobbiton in the Rings of something.
Yeah,
Rings
so
of Power.
we actually touched on that, but we had to redo the episode because the audio wasn't that great. That was before we switched up the audio system, and we never touched back on it.
There will no longer be a time where you can say there are no elves of color. So we erased that one. Yeah.
We are both activists off screen. We have a deep-rooted connection to wanting to make the world a better, more equitable place.
You serious?
The Young and the Restless. This portion sponsored by Oil of Olay.
Salon Selectives presents hair so beautiful you feel like you've just stepped out of a salon.
Salon Shine, Salon Selectives, Salon Glow, Salon Selectives.
Introducing Salon Selectives, new from Helene Curtis. 4 salon shampoos, 4 salon conditioners. You select the combination that will give you salon beautiful hair.
Salon Style.
Feel salon beautiful every day.
Salon Selectives.
So yeah, you going to.
But like what he was saying is perfect. They've now switched a lot of executive producers and stuff like that with all female writing cast and whatever it is, and directors. And the main character is a very strong female. Galadriel's her name, a very strong female badass who her hero arc has no hero arc. She is just the strongest straight away. Yeah. She is the most powerful straight away. She's the smartest. She's the toughest. She's just everything within one episode. One episode.
It's unearned abilities. Yeah. So it's like you can't humanize with her journey.
Yeah. Because she has no journey.
She doesn't have any journey. She just comes into the show, episode 1, all powerful, all knowing, and it makes her insufferable. And a lot of the way they've been writing a lot of female characters is the same thing. They all come in, they'll get a magical bracelet, and all of a sudden they're strong. And no one can relate to that because it's not a hero's journey.
Yeah.
They didn't earn the build-up to become the powerful person that they're purporting themselves to be. And down to just natural biological science, it's not believable. That's why people don't necessarily go and watch films where there's a female assassin flipping over 6'2" dudes
and
on
6
their
of them
back.
as well.
Yeah, 6 of them all at a time, and she's got a machine gun. I'm sorry, Charlize Theron. Sorry, Scarlett Johansson. But no one believes that. We don't see that in the history books.
Or just in real life. It's just not.
Yeah,
it's just
day-to-day life.
It's just like it's common sense.
That. Yeah.
If you could do that, that means a child.
A one-off exception, maybe.
Ronda
Rousey, maybe.
But then if you're
the exceptions don't make the rules.
Yeah, and then also
so it's not believable.
In a movie, find a lady willing to. It's a career. You're willing to put on the muscle that Ronda Rousey has to make the audience believe, oh shit, that chick has been training. All right, she didn't take on the last guy, but she did take those other 4 dudes out.
Yeah.
Believable.
Yeah.
The same way, and people go, oh, you're just disliking women. No, I say the same thing with The Rock in The Fast and Furious. No man can punch through a brick wall and be fine. No man can lift a concrete slab that is literally part of the wall, rip it off to take down 2 guys with both arms, throw them into the roof, throw them back. Unless this dude got hit with the Captain's America Super Soldier Serum, The Rock was doing shit no man can actually do.
Yeah, which he does have the super serum, because everyone knows The Rock's muscles are just completely genetically engineered. That dude's taking some sort of horse steroids.
100%, man. Like, he's on the juice, but it's not the juice like... You should not be throwing guys across the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that kind of... no.
Yeah.
You know? So, we're all about reality, especially if you're going to make films.
Well, that's the thing with audience. You go.
Oh yeah, I was just
You're
gonna say
about reality.
as an audience we go to the movies and you're almost being like, oh, they're stupid. Like you just believe this.
That's what they used. That's the control the industry used to have.
Yeah.
The film industry used to have a lot of control over the messages they put out, and we just had to go to theaters and go, okay, wow, okay, let's just accept that. We need to prepare for terrorists someday in the future after watching Rambo or watching Top Gun or any of these films. We need to prepare, and we have an ideology of Russians are bad because we watched the movie.
Yeah.
But now, because the audience has a voice with social media, it's bothering the industry in a way that the industry can't fool us anymore. People need to understand that that also the fans have validity when they have certain feedback that they give. If they don't like how something's going, they're the paying customer.
Yes, yeah.
We're the studios aren't paying the fans. The fans are paying the studios. So the studios do need to humble themselves and go, hey, actually, we need to listen to our audience.
100%.
And actually, when that happens, there's a lot of reward that comes out of it. That's what happened with Sonic the Hedgehog
Yeah,
movie.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
They went back, redid that shit.
We did the design of Sonic, listen to the fan base, and the fans came out in support.
Yeah, and made 2 movies.
It's very simple math. It's much better to do that than do a She-Hulk and try to insult the audience about, oh, there's toxic men that's going to complain about ladies that have muscles, so we're going to talk crap about men all throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
And realize that nobody really wanted to watch it.
Oh my god, the worst series in all my days.
Yeah, and so
and this got nothing to do with it being a female character. It's just
No.
written terribly.
It's just badly written, and it's written in the context
Directed.
of just trying to insult your audience. The whole show was an insult to the audience.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
This is a clip from a new Disney Plus show called She-Hulk, and can you believe it? It sounds like it was written by a Tumblr feminist. Ugh. So the great oppression that you face of your lifetime is catcalling and mansplaining? Are you joking? Modern day feminism, ladies and gentlemen, and our great struggle is catcalling and mansplaining. I'm pretty sure the Hulk had to deal with his father abusing him for much of his lifetime, but catcalling and mansplaining, so horrible. TV shows can't be made anymore without having woke politics injected into them, and I'm pretty sure this one's gonna flop just like all the others.
The majority of the audience is male, whether they
Yeah,
like it
or not, yeah.
Whether they like it or not. Comic books, it's a male-dominated audience. What benefit are you gonna get out of insulting men for that?
It's the same
And
as sports.
All these things. Same with like children's shows, cartoons. It's like, who is your target audience?
We met the most amazing princess, but they ran away, and all they left behind was this.
Everyone, there's something I need to tell you. The princess who came to your ball tonight was me. I'm Gonzarella.
But Gonzo, why didn't Vu tell us?
Because you all expected me to look a certain way.
See, this is why it's so important to have a father in the home. It's clear that Gonzo doesn't have a father in the home to say, hey, take that thing off. You look stupid. Get that thing off of you.
I would take that off. That looks crazy.
You know, if you've raised your kids correctly and they were to watch Muppet Babies and they saw that, they would start laughing. Like if my boys watch Muppet Babies, which they won't, but if they did and they saw that, they would just laugh hysterically because they would say that's so silly and ridiculous, which it is. But now it's the goal is quite the opposite of that, which is, among other things, extremely creepy.
Why are you putting certain messaging in these shows that are over-sexualized? And it's like, this could appeal to kids. So who are you? It's a whole family watching it together. Who are you trying to fool?
As soon as you ostracize your audience,
audience, you lose money at the end of the day. And even down to back to this Velma show, there's a scene in the show, and it's 2 minutes long of of two 15-year-old girls fighting in a locker room, pretty much naked in a sexually suggestive way. They're fighting and struggling for 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
And they're 15 years old. It's a locker scene because these are all kids.
They're teenagers.
Yeah, these are all teenagers.
They're trying to sexualize children. So they're doing it with music. To be clear, I have nothing against trans people, do what you want, but don't impinge sexuality on children. Like children don't need to be having drag queen story hour. They don't need to be going to gay pride events where you have men in nothing but like underwear whipping each other's bums. You do not need children there, and the push to have children there, and the fact that, you know, me saying what I'm saying supposedly makes me a fascist and some evil person. Obviously it doesn't. But the fact that I said, and they'll cancel me for that, is fascinating. That's part of a bigger thing to sexualize children.
But it's,
remember,
but
you're
it's
meddling
sexually,
kids.
It's sexually suggestive, and then they have a professor in it that apparently, you know, he's commenting on how pretty these girls are. So it's somewhat alluding to some passive, like almost pedo type, you know, humor.
Damn.
And then they've sexualized two 15-year-old girls fighting, like half dressed in a locker room for 2 minutes.
That's nasty.
So it's like, what are you trying to put out there? We've already covered, like I said, Balenciaga. They're putting messaging in these shows that is disingenuous. And I'm actually, to be honest, bro, I haven't been heavily active in film and TV on a major program since 2019, and I'm actually really grateful for it, to be honest, because the way the industry is right now, I don't really actually want to. I'm not crazy about being involved in it.
It's not,
because there's so much agenda messaging being put in there, and it's like
every movie that has to come out. Like there was literally a movie about, I can't remember the name, but two gay guys, a rom-com, which is fine.
Bros,
that's the one. And I have some gay mates that I love, but I remember seeing that advertised everywhere, and all I could think was, this isn't going to sell too well to the general public.
No, at film festivals, those are called for limited audiences. Like any film that LGBTQ films have always been a part of, like film festivals to a certain degree, but it's made for a limited audience. And what they mean by limited, because it's a small community, it's niche. But Hollywood now is trying to make it seem as though everybody has a friend that is gay and is in drag and cross dresses,
or half
or transsexual. Like they're trying to make it seem like this is this whole world out here of people that we all know, people that are trans, and we all know people that are, you know, cross dressers, or you know, or all of our friend circles always has to have someone queer in it, and it's unnatural. What would be more respected, honestly, is not necessarily diverse homogeny in a TV program, making everyone still token. What would be more genuine is making diverse programming, where it's actually diverse because it's respectful of everyone's culture.
Yeah.
Not you trying to blend in a bunch of Western crap
through everyone's culture
and everyone's culture all into one blender, and now we're all just sexual, and we're all just
weird,
and we're all just all feminists as well, all at the same time, and it's fake.
Well, it's we all know it's fake, and that's why we don't want to watch it. It's so like you said, it's so disingenuous. It's almost a slap in the face, and it's so simple. And we've said this before. It's so simple to just go write new material.
Yeah, we don't need Harfoots of color. We don't need African hobbits. Weird, you know how freaking crazy that look for us to watch The Lord of the Rings and see some like African people walking around on hobbit feet.
Is it just me, or is Hollywood getting really, really lazy when it comes to diversity? Instead of giving us new original movies and TV shows, they just reboot old shows and change the main character to female, or they change the race, what I call blackfacing. I notice they really like to do this with redheads. Think I'm lying? Let's reboot Annie, but instead make her black. Creative. Jimmy Olsen from Superman. Black Jimmy Olsen. MJ from Spider-Man. Black MJ from Spider-Man. Lesbian Batwoman. Lesbian black Batwoman. I think you get my point here. It's not that these characters are bad or that we're not appreciative of seeing representation. It's just you act like there's no black stories out there. When we get original shows, you cancel them or just kill them off. What we've been asking for is a recast T'Challa and a Storm with a dark complexion. It ain't that hard.
And we don't need to be a part of your lore. We don't. We have our own
have our own stories.
Yeah, we have our own stories out of Africa. We have our own mythology, our own fantasies, and
And if we don't, we can make up our own. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that
give us our own original IPs. We don't need a African Cinderella.
Or an Ariel.
Or Ariel, because it's all insulting. That's for Ariel, for example, Little Mermaid. That's a Dutch folktale. You're insulting Dutch people by taking away their their original their stories. And if you can be creative enough to come up with Moana, which is an original Polynesian IP, you can do the same thing for Africans. Don't purposely race swap and gender swap so that people can be fighting.
Yeah.
Because we see it. You're purporting manufactured chaos. You're polarizing differences between men and women when we have more in common because we were born because a male and a female came together, gave us life.
While in the U.S., they further developed what they called critical theory. It was designed as a strategy to change, revolutionize, and bring down America by criticizing it. Max Horkheimer, Theodore Adorno, and others from the Institute developed what we now call political correctness. George Lukács, Erich Fromm, Wilhelm Reich, and Herbert Marcuse developed the strategy of the sexual revolution, which they based on Sigmund Freud's pansexualism, the search for pleasure. Critical theory exploited the differences between the sexes to incite gender conflict. It exploited their commonalities to incite gender confusion.
So why don't you show that beauty to families who are people that's your paying audience that's going to go to theaters? And honestly, mostly males in general are going to be the ones that go to theaters and support these programs, especially if it's action-based or whatever the case may be. So, I think Hollywood is starting to, become more aware that they can no longer do what they used to do in the 80s or, the 90s, which is just throw out whatever they throw out. And now we just have to accept it because we're just the audience. But now we have a voice. And so they'll classify us as toxic fans or
toxic
fandom.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times.
To Henry Cavill's, honor and respect, the guy who played Superman, he said fans have validity. They have validity in their critiques because they are paying for it. There's no such thing as toxic fans. No. They're telling you what they like and what they don't like, and that's the majority rules.
The thing is, with Amazon, if they were told, oh my god, we love this, they wouldn't be toxic fans. Yeah. You're only a toxic fan when you disagree with that person's show or movie, but you're never toxic if you go online saying this is amazing, this is the best.
In all aspects of business, the customers are right.
Yeah.
Whether that's someone coming into Starbucks and going, hey, something's wrong with my drink, hey, it's not quite mixed. Hey, that burger, I think I got some food poisoning for that burger. Maybe it's something in the mix-up. McDonald's, all these places will, work around to cater to the customer to make the best experience possible.
Exactly.
The only few industries that the customer's best experience possible does not matter seems to be movies and entertainment.
Yeah.
What the fuck? There's no cheese? Son, hold on, son.
Because you want to know why? They want to control the narrative. And unfortunately, I'm so sorry to tell them this, but they don't have that power anymore. Even if they push this whole disinformation, misinformation thing that's going on in the news, that's another topic that me and Binda can cover, even if they start setting up online disinformation boards and shutting down people's accounts, you can't make people like what you're putting out.
Yeah.
You can't force us to like these movies, even if you flag our comments and say they're hate speech. You're either for free speech or you're not for free speech. And if you're not for free speech at all, if you're for free speech, there's no such thing as hate speech. People are allowed to be wrong and also to learn and have a teachable moment.
Yeah.
So if you go back and find old tweets from somebody on something that they might have said years ago, it's okay for them to be at fault years ago and maybe be in a different space now.
Yeah.
It's okay for us to have maybe not the best perspective, and you guys check us in the comments.
Yeah.
And us have a teachable moment.
You gotta fuck up. You have to fuck up.
You have to take risks or you never find what works.
I call it fucking up. You got to fuck up, man. I did a lot of dumb shit, but I've learned from it. I'm better from it all. If I don't make those mistakes, I don't get to sit here and be the guy that I am today. Mistakes that my dad made, you know, the decisions to do drugs, be in and out of jail, in and out of our lives, I saw firsthand what not being present did. And because of that, I now know what being present means. I know what that can do. I know the effect that it'll have on your child coming up. Now, I was strong enough to deal with it coming up because I have a different attitude. I'm a positive guy. I choose to go positive instead of negative a lot. And because of that, my relationship with my dad is amazing now. I think there's a choice. You always have a choice to make. My thing is, I don't have time to be angry. You know how much time it takes to hold an attitude and a grudge? That's time and energy. I don't have that time. The time that it takes you to go, I don't like that person, and keep that in you over a period of time, that's a lot of time that can be devoted to something positive.
So you either want free speech or you want me speech. And if you want me speech, that doesn't work for people because you're trying to shut down conversations because you're afraid someone might actually have more information than you. Something that might challenge your whole reality. This is bigger than your ego. This is about our planet. You know, so that's where me and Benda come from.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. I agree.
Wholesome messages, holistic, you know?
Yeah. We can cancel you, by the way, which is the stupidest shit that I've ever fucking witnessed in my 40 years of life. The whole idea of, I can kill you today with the goddamn click of a button, I can end your life. By the way, this is a real feeling that people have. I'm in control of your life. If I want your life to stop and be over, I'll cancel you.
Yeah.
And that means you can't live no more. That's how ridiculous it is. Think about the meaning of cancel culture. So you're saying that my life is over, I can no longer survive or provide for myself? Cancel. I don't know, figure it out. You're canceled. Dave Chappelle said, fuck all that. Do what you gonna do, I'm gonna do me. That is epic. That is groundbreaking. That is GOAT-like behavior. So I bow down to Mr. Chappelle.
He's very important. He's one of the most important figures in the history of comedy.
Absolutely.
Because of the fact that he's willing to do this when the scrutiny is the highest, you know, and also just his story, the way he did it, the way he walked away for 10 years and then came back and immediately went right to the top.
The only thing I can touch on that is, like he was saying about the customers being right, is, you know, you don't walk into a place and someone goes, oh, you know, like my machine
toxic.
My machine's broken, and they go,
toxic
well,
customers.
Well, you're wrong. Again, my PlayStation is working. Well, you're just a toxic customer. You don't know what's right. But this isn't working. My machine literally isn't working. And especially the
bigot.
The main part is it's not even just one customer. If your customers are coming back in droves, in hundreds or thousands, and being like, this product is crap.
Here's a petition.
Yeah, whether it's McDonald's, Sony, an electronic company, a car company, it could be fucking Lamborghini. Yeah. They will change everything.
They will acquiesce to your liking.
They'll be like, wow, we've had thousands of people.
Accommodate. Straight up.
Boom, straight away. It won't take them. That day they will accommodate.
Yeah.
But yet, you get thousands of people going, this is a terrible movie. What the fuck? And they say what they're saying. Toxic fans. So you're telling me the majority are all wrong, but the 3 executive producers on the show are all correct?
All correct.
They all 3 of them sat there and went, this is a good show. And then everyone, the ratings are terrible. Everyone hates it. No one's watched it. You lost $1 billion. I think we still did a good job. I don't know any job on the planet where you can lose money and still make money as a human. Like,
We're out here winning. Yes, Queen.
Queen, what the fuck? If me and Kels were working at PwC or Deloitte or any major corporate company, and we lost them $1 billion, we would be fired yesterday. We would not get a clap on the back. We would not be. They wouldn't care about this. Our customers are toxic. That's why they didn't want to buy from me and Kels. Oh, is that why? Oh, in that case. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it.
You know the billion? Don't even worry about it.
Right.
I didn't know they were toxic.
It's a write-off. It's a write-off.
I didn't know they were mean to you. Why didn't you just tell me?
Apparently they can't take the loss. That's why Bob Chapek came back in at Disney and they fired the guy who took over.
I heard that.
At Disney. They fired him on a Sunday while he was at a concert. I think, I'm not for sure what concert was. Bob Dylan or something. I think he was at the Hollywood Bowl, but he was at a concert.
Of course.
And they fired him on a Sunday. No one gets fired on a Sunday unless it's an emergency.
100%.
So apparently Disney couldn't take the loss. And so they put the same guy back in that actually kind of set up this whole chaotic infrastructure that is currently going on with modern films, where right now they're putting ladies in power, which is not a bad thing, but they're doing it according to ESG, economic and social governance. So they're putting women in positions of power for checkpoints, social checkpoints. And they're saying there's a lot of films and there's a lot of programs that have actually done pretty bad because they put people in power that they weren't for sure if they were competent or not. They just did it based off race, based off gender. And so you're getting a lot of messed up programming. There's actually shows right now where they've gone back and said, you know, we actually did an action series and now we've made some mistakes. And so now if we hire a female director, we're just going to actually put in an action director with the female director. We'll have her shoot the social scenes. We'll have the action director shoot the action scenes. Because we've had programs that have bombed because we put a woman in a director's chair and she doesn't know how to direct an action scene, you know, and they're saying that's not saying that women are incapable of it, but we're putting people in that it's not their expertise and we're blowing massive amounts of money on programs where people aren't actually proficient in what they're trying to direct.
And it's like any job. You're not going to have me be the head of a law firm. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Like, you can't. Well, you can.
Yeah.
I'll just lose you a lot of money. That's all. I'm not saying that I can't do it. I'm saying you will lose money. And if you're okay with that, then I am happy to run your company for
you know what? If you got money to give away, donate it. Give it to us.
I will happily run a company. I don't mind.
You know, exactly.
I don't mind being CEO for a couple of years.
Yeah, we got a dope movie, you know. So like feel free to pass it to us our way.
Yes, please.
Matter of fact, we can do it without your endorsement. You know? We can do it without trying to, leverage some of our IP. We've got our own creativity. But nevertheless, just do it for better causes and don't forget your audience. Don't forget who you're speaking to. Keep your audience in mind.
Every teacher that has a pride flag in their classroom should be fired and arrested. The gay flag is a sexual flag. It represents nothing other than sexual things. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. What business is it of anyone on this board of what children would like to do with other children? It is none of your business. It is between them and their parents. But however, you guys want to illegally survey your students. My name is Frank Rodriguez. I'm the Executive Director of Operations for Gays Against Groomers. I'm a 31-year-old gay man pushing back against the agenda that's happening within our classrooms. Keeping parents away from this discussion is absolutely severing the relationship between a child and their parent. My community is not discriminated against anymore. Shockingly enough, we succeeded. Now you're sending out surveys that's asking students what their gender is, what their pronouns are, and whether or not you should be telling their parents. Could you imagine if my son or one of yours went to school and said, "Hey, I'm gay," and you never knew? All of you up here are pretty intelligent. You have doctorate degrees, you're educated, and you lead this district. But yet, you turn a blind eye with the sexual things that happen in your classroom. I refuse to believe that any of you think that that's appropriate. Because if you think that that is appropriate, you would be a predator. There's images that are going to be displayed today for you to see of a child sucking another child off. And that's in your classrooms. I shake because it makes me uncomfortable to even utter those words to you. This is nothing about inclusion. It is nothing about respect to my community. I say with you with 100% truth, according to the Center of Disease Control, that the reason my community faces such issues in this world has absolutely nothing to do with the straight people on this planet. Has everything to do with the drugs that we digest. Has everything to do with our access to health care. The number one reason my community has so many mental health issues is because they don't have access to health care. And that's directly from the CDC. It is not slurs, it's not gay bashing. We don't have access to therapy. If you really want to help the LGBTQ community to feel really accepted in this world, embrace that people have mental health issues and they should seek help. Having a classroom without the American flag in it is a disgrace to this country. If this country wasn't here, millions of people around the world would perish. And that flag, this flag, should be held high by every single student.
They're trying to sexualize children. So they're doing it with music. To be clear, I have nothing against trans people. Do what you want, but don't impinge sexuality on children. Like, children don't need to be having drag queen story hour. They don't need to be going to gay pride events where you have men in nothing but like underwear whipping each other's bums. You do not need children there. And the push to have children there, and the fact that, you know, me saying what I'm saying supposedly makes me a fascist and some evil person. Obviously it doesn't. But the fact that I said, and they'll cancel me for that, is fascinating. That's part of a bigger thing to sexualize children.
Like I say, a lot of these people, whether it's Cardi B, Lil Nas X, Harry Styles, individually, they're not these rotten, horrible human beings. I actually think Harry Styles is probably a very nice guy. You know what I'm saying? I actually think it's the people that are using them that are the sinister, evil people. Meaning, why did Billboard decide, right, to name Cardi B Woman of the Year? She should never win that title because she's admitted openly that she's robbed and drugged men. She should never, ever be allowed by Bill Cosby standards, right? She should probably be in prison according to Bill Cosby standards. She's openly admitted to drugging and robbing men, right? Who made that decision and why did they make that decision? These are the questions that I ask my audience to ask themselves. At the same time, Harry Styles, okay, cover of Vogue, great accomplishment. Why do they want him in a dress? Why couldn't he? I've seen him wear a suit. He looks lovely in a suit. Why is Lil Nas X making a Satan shoe and straddling? Who is picking these people and putting them in the most public and applauding them and saying, this is great, this is great, this is great.
And yeah, guys, I think of people that might have seen our Balenciaga video, which is on Rumble.
Rumble, yes.
Go check it out on Rumble. Yeah, YouTube, it was too hot for TV. But check it out on Rumble. You might start to wrap your head around the fact that how much government influence has been at these social media sites, which the Twitter files revealed.
Yes.
And also how much government influence has been in the film industry, with CIA helping to purchase some land for Disney. And so I think this messaging that is going out is coming from levels way above them. Probably World Economic Forum, who knows? I don't want to sound like I'm speculating, but there has been already messaging that has been put out. It's public knowledge and information. You guys do your own research.
Yes.
But nevertheless, yeah, so you can own it for yourself and you're not just listening to me and Benda's perspective, even if it makes sense. But feel free to own your own information in POV so you have something to speak about. That's why we're here. We're grateful we've been educated enough to formulate our own ideas where we can verbalize our thought process. And
you said people need that it's fuel.
Yeah.
Right? I feel that in today's time, what people are most selfish with is information. Nobody wants to give information. You got to ask for it. If you ask for it, then all right, maybe I'll tell you some stuff, but it's a search and find.
You mean real good information?
Information about how to get to success. Whatever your version of success is, to get to it, information from someone that's done it or that's partaken in it in some degree will only add to the value of your journey. It's only going to make it easier. You know, it should get better. You should get wiser. You should get smarter. You should be able to make better decisions. And all of my decisions came from the massive amount of fuck-ups. And I can now share those fuck-ups. I can now share the rights and the wrongs and the way that I handle all of the things that I've done. And people can just take that information and go, wow, I never looked at it like that.
The real world is something that I have built. It's something I was planning for a very long time. And after they canceled me, I accelerated my plans. The The real world uses its own servers hidden beneath a mountain. Armed guards defend them. The real world has its own processing power, its own banks. The real world cannot be shut down, it cannot be censored, it cannot be stopped. They cannot tell me what I can say. The information is truly free. And this is how I will teach you how to make money in ways you have never heard of before, never seen before, and will never find access to these tools and this information anywhere else on the planet.
We want our audience to equally enjoy this intellect and dialogue that we're having. And if we're wrong, put it in the comments, right?
Always. I'm always happy to be wrong. I'm always
Yes.
happy to be wrong.
Yeah, so Hollywood, please make some diverse, original programming. Don't try to make everything homogenous because you're gonna take a loss. It's inescapable, you know. And you guys had a lot of power, and now you can't just feed us whatever you want, you know. That's where it's at, guys. So we love you guys.
Yes, sir.
Want everyone to be successful. Be mindful of the industries you go into, and stay educated, stay informed.
Yes, you guys stay sassy, stay sexy.
Exactly. Dude's ruined. You know what I'm saying?
We out. We'll see you guys soon.
Audi 5000, guys. See you soon. Oos. Churro. Surfs up.
Another day, another dollar. Where the money go, you know the honeys follow. On that chase for that Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada. But she said she good with not. I met her on the set of a video in my stone super bad. Tossing subliminals like criminals trying to lose the strap. Throwing counter punches every time I finish throwing jabs. The kind of girl with class and focus man supposed to